This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create a professional website, blog, portfolio, and online store. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase on new accounts, just head on over to squarespace.com and use offer code Gamebreaker7. This episode is also brought to you by Shutterstock.com. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 30% off your new account, go over to Shutterstock.com and use offer code Gamebreaker7.
Gamebreaker TV.
Take two with
Gary didn't rewind the track before he played it, so it started late. So I didn't know that was gonna happen. What's up, everybody? I'm probably echoing, so I probably can't get that loud. However, welcome to After Dark, the live call-in show where you guys call in live and you make the show happen. So come join us on Tuesday nights and be a part of the conversation. Joining me from across the room, playing on his brand new shiny air drum set, Mr. Gannon. So good. I'm glad we hired you to do the show intros. Wow.
I'm the perp, bitch!
Just, wow.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
Alrighty. Before we jump into the show real quick, Gary, I just want to talk about, we talked about this literally just before we went live.
What?
What's with Cube World pretending to be DDoS right now?
It's
Pretending to be DDoS.
Oh, you're just stealing.
I'm
You're
stealing
my
your theory. I'm stealing
you stole my,
your
you
theory.
Stole my theory.
That's why you gotta say stuff when it's on live, because now it looks like I came up with it.
That it was all made up, and it's a red carpet treatment. It's like the velvet rope treatment, you know, like when a club opens up and you know they want everybody to like wait outside and think it's like the cool club to get into, and they put the velvet rope out. And they got the bouncer and they're waiting and they hold everybody back, but there's like 3 people inside. They don't care. They just hold you back. They just hold you back.
I've never wanted to play a game so much ever that I didn't think I really cared about. And then as soon as I couldn't get in, the only thing I wanted to do was get in.
That's all it was. I've been
Facebooking people.
I've been F5ing this game nonstop for like 48 hours and I can't get in. I've fallen and I can't get in, Cube World. Hook me up. Send me a tweet. Come on, bro. We want to make content about your game. You need to get us.
We need to be able
invites.
to get in to make the content. So,
yes.
Come on.
We're having a little bit of trouble because we can't make any content on your game. And if you have this much hype right now for your game, go with it.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the lines and get this show started. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your question.
Hello there. This is Mohammed from Saudi Arabia. And before I ask my question, I'm going to tell you guys, Q-Port is awesome. I bought it.
You know what,
Awesome.
Mohammed?
Thanks. Rub
You
salt
think
in the wound.
you're so cool because you already got
Rub
access.
salt in the wound.
Yeah, I'm cool. Cooler than you, at least.
At least he knows it. He knows he's cool. He's in the elite club. He gets to pretend like he gets to be cool. Not even pretend like he's cool. He gets to be cool.
How many hours have you clocked in? Tell me about it. Is it good? Are you enjoying it?
It's awesome, especially if you play it with friends, co-op. I've been playing it since like 2 days ago, and I'm already level 20.
What's so awesome about it? What's so great about it? Like, tell me more than it's awesome. I want to know why. What's so good about it?
Well, it's kind of like an MMORPG, but single player with like randomly generated loot like Diablo, and a random world that is generated like Minecraft. And that's the awesome thing about it. That's all I can tell.
So what you're saying is it's a perfect opportunity for Gary and I on SMAT, our awesome new gaming
What's
channel
SMAT?
that Gary and I do gameplay videos of.
Super mega awesome time. F yeah, super mega. YouTube.com/super mega awesome time, because all the good names are
So that's
taken.
what SMAT is? Is that what
What's that?
SMAT is?
That is
That's
what
what-
SMAT is. It's our gameplay channel.
Yep. Nothing but gameplay. Nothing but Gamebreaker gameplay will go on the SMAT channel. That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
So if you guys
go
like
over and
gaming videos, go subscribe over on YouTube. So that
We want to do Cube World, but
no, can't.
Shit's
not
not
allowed. Wanted to play Final Fantasy VII, but I'm dumb and didn't check audio settings.
I'm glad he didn't blame that one on me. He stole my my theory on Cube World. I figured he would blame Final Fantasy audio effed up on me. So.
Nope.
All right, what's your question, sir?
Well, my question is why does sometimes a sequel of a game suck, like really suck, really bad?
I guess sometimes
example.
movie sequels suck. Sometimes movie sequels suck really bad. Sometimes music bands, artists, sometimes their sequel sucks really bad.
Do you have a theory as to why maybe sequels suck?
I can't, without knowing his examples and then doing some research, I could say one thing that a lot of times kills it is they shuffle off to a different developer. A lot of times an IP will get shuffled off to different developers, a whole different crew of people working on the game, and it completely falls flat on its face. So that could be one reason, depending on the game.
Here's my take on it is I think that obviously developer hands across the board sequels suffer because they're not made by the people who potentially made the original. So that's obviously
isn't that kind of what I just said?
Number one. I'm just reinforcing it. I
Kind of what I
agree.
just said. Okay,
I agree.
okay.
I'm not taking your idea.
I thought you wanted to steal that idea. Okay, I just want to make sure you did steal that idea as well.
But I think the other thing is that sequels suffer from the thought that they don't have to take any time to character develop. You see this a lot in movies where the characters have already been established and they just throw you into the movie. I think a perfect movie example is the Ocean's movie. I love Ocean's 11.
Frank Ocean?
What?
The Frank Ocean movie?
Frank Ocean.
I would love it if Frank Ocean made a movie. Channel Orange is a fantastic album. I would say it should be almost album of the year. Frank Ocean's 11.
Frank Ocean's 11. Yes.
That's what it would be called. That's what I would call it if I made it.
I think that to me is the biggest problem with at least Ocean's 11 and some other sequels is they just don't take the time to character develop. And that's what makes it so magical the first time is you're learning the story, you're learning the setting, you're learning so much about this world. And it's the same for a video game. And then when a sequel comes along, a poor sequel comes along, they don't feel like they need to take the time to introduce you to that stuff anymore because it's already been established. But I understand that maybe they don't need to reintroduce you to what has already been established in the first game, but whatever the point of the sequel is, there has to be something new to explore and something new to establish, and that's where I think games suffer is they just throw a sequel at you, giving you maybe some new conflict, but they don't give you any new character development. And I think that for me is a huge issue with it. Gary, got anything else?
I think it's something to do with character development. And
that's a really good one. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's
I have a huge issue with it not really having character development. I don't know. I mean, this is like one of the questions. It's like impossible to really say. Like it is like a question that's so open ended. It could be a gajillion reasons. It could be different developers. It could be it's being rushed for financial reasons. It just could be. I don't know. It just could be 1,000 things. It could just be the fact that, like, hey, sometimes it's really hard to catch lightning in a bottle twice, right? I mean, bands suffer from that all the time. They come out, they make a great record. And I do think game development to some extent, I always go back to music. And I feel like there's a correlation there between like making a game and music, and it's even harder because you got to keep like a couple hundred people,
team of people,
and you're trying to bring all these components together, and you've got like a few key people who are trying to make sure, like, okay, are all these like moving parts working, and is all of this going to come together properly? And it's like I just think sometimes even some of the best of them out there, like sometimes it just doesn't all come together. When it doesn't come together, you're F.
Can I just say one sequel I'm not worried about is Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh my gosh, that trailer looked amazing today. Did you get a chance to watch the gameplay trailer?
I did.
Holy crap!
So why are you just? I mean, I'm super excited about the trailer. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I'm really excited. I'm tweeting about it. But
why? You just gonna ask me why?
I'm gonna ask you why.
I think. Well, first off, I think the one thing that's really awesome is during missions, you have the ability to jump from one character to the next, and you see this from time to time. I think it would be really interesting if they don't force it on you. You can just choose to play as one of the characters, or you can choose to play as all the different characters throughout the course of a mission. So, the example they used is one of the guys was kind of dangling from a helicopter and he shoots in the windows and then he presses a button and it snaps out to one of the other guys who's sniping people from the roof, and he snaps out and he starts sniping away, and then he snaps back into the person that's up close. That ability to, first off, the fact that they're telling 3 stories outside of one means that it's going to have a lot of a really great story. But like I said, for the dynamic gameplay of being able to jump into different characters' positions in the middle of a mission makes for really interesting missions. On top of that, I think it's really exciting to see the fact that it sounds like, I'm going to choose to play one of the characters, and I can play it for however long that I want. And then when I jump to, say, one of the other characters, it doesn't just jump to where I left off with him. He's lived, from
Everybody
what it seems,
just jump.
From what it seems, he is, I think we've been found out on our Skype name, because now we're getting calls, direct calls from other people.
Shush.
I think that it's cool because they're like, okay, I leave one character in the road, go away for 2 or 3 hours, and I come back and he's left. He's continued on with his life and done other things. So you could jump into the middle of a setting and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I'm in the middle of a bank robbery. I don't know if that's exactly what's going to happen, but just that idea of thinking that these characters aren't just static to your playing experience. They're going to go and live in the world without you. Really makes it feel like a living, breathing world.
GTA is like, Rockstar's always tried to kind of like have that feeling, right? With all like, the crowd moving around and people walking through the streets. They've always tried to convey that, but it really seems like this time that they're taking it to the next level. And some of the other interesting stuff that looks crazy, which some people are going to love and then some are going to hate, but I'm going to think you're probably going to you don't have to do some of this stuff. Did you catch the clips of like on your bike and you're riding your bike?
Racing?
But that's probably going to affect like your stats and your character. Like if you want to go work out and like exercise, a lot of speculation around that those things are going to like actually affect your character in game.
It hasn't it? You could make your character stronger by lifting weights and doing stuff.
I think it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be really cool. I think the reason that I kind of like have faith in that game as actually being good without even seeing it though is really more from the developer. Because when does Rockstar really F up?
Didn't they do LA Noire?
That wasn't an F up.
I don't think it was a complete F up, but I don't think it was as great as what people originally.
It wasn't an F up.
Yeah, it wasn't an F up, but it wasn't this groundbreaking game that everybody was touting that it was going to be. That's just my thought. But anyway. All right, let's open up the lines and keep the show moving. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your question. And Mohammed, by the way, I know we let you go. Thank you so much for your question.
What is up, guys? This is Carrie from Moreno Valley.
How's it going?
What's up, Carrot? Any relation to Carrot Top?
Yes. Just tell him yes.
Not at all.
All right, good.
Oh, and I'm just letting you guys know right now. I must be like the only guy who doesn't know who Frank Ocean is. I'm just gonna put it out there.
You're not the only one.
No idea who it is.
Frank Ocean's 11.
Not the only one.
Channel Purple. It's a great album. Check it out.
Ocean's 11 is like that's pretty much the correlation I make. Anyway, this is actually in regards to you kind of trolling Gary last week.
Should I bring up that video again? That sound file? Troll him again?
That was last week. That's so last week.
Actually, don't do that. The reason why is because I took your advice. I went ahead and went out, bought a PS3, bought The Last of Us.
Can we get PlayStation as an advertiser? I just sold a PlayStation unit. All right. Continue.
I went ahead
Wait
and...
a minute, wait. I got to stop you there. You bought a PS3 when the PS4 is coming out in like, what, a month? 2 months?
Thing was $250. It was nothing, and it came
Totally
with God
worth
of
it.
War.
Totally worth it for Last of Us. Worth every penny.
Apparently, Carrot burns money, wipes his ass with hundreds. He's rolling. He's like, yo, he's got a PS3. I got Last of Us. Frank Ocean, he don't even know me.
Hey, I mean, Grand Theft Auto is going to not be coming out on the next gen, so you're going to need it for that as well. Might as well prep.
Well, I figured I have a slew of PS3 games because I had a 60 gig before and it broke, but long story short, I actually played through The Last of Us. By the way, the clickers are probably the most terrifying thing to hear on surround sound.
Aren't they? I play with headphones on and I'm like shitting my pants. Like, they're so creepy.
So good.
Yeah,
it's like Silent Hill level good.
I have not been that terrified since like Resident Evil when the zombie dog jump the window. Like I have not been that scared in a long time. It was something crazy.
So what you're calling to say it was worth the money. I get it. I get it. All right, continue.
Well, my actual question is, now that I've actually, kind of gone back and, brought that feeling back up, I was wondering what kind of games you guys would like a resurgence of. Like, we haven't had a true survival horror game since like the early Resident Evils, the early Silent Hills, because most of them have like baked into them. Like these days now, like I played Resident Evil 6. I absolutely hated it. Me and my friends call it Gears of Evil 6 because that's pretty much what it is. And like I was just thinking, like, how can we bring some of these old genres back?
I had this conversation with a friend of mine. I mean, and your question was what genre should come back, but I agree with you on the survival horror is definitely something that's lacking. He seemed to be pretty convinced that The Last of Us was going to ignite the spark that was going to bring back survival horror. I don't know if that's truly going to be the case. I think it did a great job of being both an action game and a survival horror game. But I think, obviously, as you said, Gears of Evil 6 and the late Resident Evils and the late Silent Hills, they're all suffering from, action syndrome where Call of Duty and all of these action shooters are getting implemented to the suspenseful thriller horror
We've
games.
even seen the RPG genre kind of fall into that. The RPG genre got totally hacked by it because I'm a big RPG fan, even more than survival horror. And you see the same thing where they start trying to mess, even like mass affecting up more and more. It's like getting more like shootery and FPS than RPG. So I agree.
Mass Effect is in kind of gray area as far as I'm concerned. Like I really love the RPG elements of it, and it's still, to me, it's still a role-playing game, but it's definitely not like Final Fantasy or where like Hoshigami or any of those other games are.
But it feels like they felt like they watered it down through the trilogy as it went along. They just got more and more Gears of War, even in, if we'll use that as a term now. Even in Mass Effect, 'cause I feel like even the RPG elements of that just like slowly kind of like got watered down a little bit. Dragon Age, right? Dragon Age is a good example of really good old school RPG totally getting hacked on too. So yeah, I don't know why does survival horror? I mean, besides Resident Evil though, like did survival horror ever really sell that well? I mean,
that's why
Resident Evil was a great franchise, but I think it never really did. It was never like a really big seller.
But the problem is now they've watered. Now it's completely washed out. The few people that did go buy survival horror aren't buying survival horror because it's watered down crap. And the people who want their action games, what?
Indie. Amnesia, right? What's the new one? Pigs. I'm not sure.
I was so horribly disappointed by Amnesia. I played through the first like 2 hours of that game, and like the second half of me was just wishing it was over. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority there.
Well, maybe the next one they're going to do, but maybe more indie developers will pick up that genre and kind of go with it. It seems like that the Kickstarter indie developers are definitely the crowd right now that are going back to sort of the roots of gaming, and they're looking at like retro and things like so. Maybe survival horror will get into that mix as well.
Well, and speaking of indie developers, I think survival horror has fallen into like the perfect example of survival horror lately are the Slenderman games. I think it was like Project 4626 or something. But it's these games work as survival horror games because you care for your life. Just like you did in The Last of Us. You were worried about dying, whereas if they go too far and they pushed action too much, you just run and gun and you don't care. But that's what made survival horror so scary is when you turned a corner, saw like big monsters that were gonna come and mess your face. And you were worried, you were scared, and that's what made, I think, for me, at least as a child, survival horror so engrossing was because that it was scary. You were actually worried about dying.
You know what fits into that category for me though?
Absolutely.
Daisy.
But no, I agree. Like, Daisy's not survival horror. Daisy's just survival. But it wins because it tugs on that emotion of dying and making it matter. And that's important, I think. And
I'm watching chat room first. Pumping, then I would consider it like survival horror. You know what I mean? Like if I'm actually feeding for my digital avatar's life, then like I would consider it survival horror.
Yeah, it's like they've tried to take those like boo moments out of a lot of those games. Like Dead Space is of course the one that's like chat rooms blowing up talking about it. Like Dead Space is not scary, and I for one actually really liked the last Dead Space. I have to admit, but I understand why hardcore Dead Space fans were very disappointed because no, it wasn't like super scary, and it wasn't like you didn't really have those moments. I think it was a good game, but it wasn't what people that the old school people like in survival horror really wanted. So I don't know. Yeah, I think partially we just don't see a lot of them, mainly because they don't. It's not a genre that sells incredibly well. It's still fantasy, fighting, racing.
But that's why, as you said, maybe the indie developers doing a really good job of picking it up and making these titles that are not built for the masses to purchase or play. They're, I think Slender the Arrival was like $10. And maybe there's a market there. It's just it's small development, small price, and you're targeting the people that really want to play those kinds of games.
I know like some of the community is a little down on DayZ now because it's taken Rocket so long to get the standalone version out, man. But I still think for survival horror fans, if you're out there and you have not played DayZ, I suggest you try it even now. I still think there are so many white knuckle tense moments in that game, and not even so much from the zombies, but from the other players of how that game is created. I think it's fantastic. It's much more my thing. MMO/the survival horror.
All right, let's open up the lines again and get this going. But before we do, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsor. We got to pay them bills. So
gotta pay them bills.
I'd like to tell you we got an awesome service known as Shutterstock.
It is awesome to the second
Wait, that's
power.
Squarespace. Shutterstock. There it is. Double ad.
Hey,
that's a phone in my mic. Shutterstock is an awesome service that I think every creative out there that's trying to do things on the internet needs to know about. If you got your own YouTube channel, your own website, if you are doing anything creative, you need pictures, you need art.
Dude, look at all these
graphics.
Look at all these avatars for YouTube pages.
I mean, you got a movie channel? Maybe you're doing movie reviews.
Can you save that top one with the guy with the mustache on the top
the
left?
Mustache
No.
over here?
No, not that one. The top left one, the first one. Yes, save that one. Because that that could be
there it is.
That middle guy right there with the collared shirt. That's me.
I think. Well, I don't know who me is because I don't have a.
I
guess
either.
I'm the one on the bottom right because it's
I
childish
kind of
with
think
freckles.
so.
I don't know.
Because you look just totally innocent.
But I mean, honestly, guys, and these are vectors. These can be scaled to no end. Right here, obviously, as I said, we have some movie ones, but it's actually really cool. Obviously, everybody's got Photoshop. Maybe your skills aren't necessarily that you can't Photoshop. I can Photoshop. Gary, what were the vectors that we looked up for SMAT? Do you know by chance what you looked for those?
I do not remember what I searched for, sir.
Well, for an example, here's what we used for SMAT. And we got this nice little, black Radiohead dude, and we have this nice little superhero. But this guy was actually originally red. And because it's a vector, I was able to take it into Photoshop, blow it up really big, and just change the color. And it lost absolutely no resolution because that's what vectors do. Shutterstock's got a bunch of different vectors, a bunch of different photos, illustrations, video clips.
Especially
I think a lot of you guys maybe
photography. Don't forget about the stock photography, man. You're doing a video project, maybe for school, or you're doing something on YouTube. Stock photography is key. You can't take those photos.
The other thing that I found is absolutely key to making your productions, whatever you're doing, whether it be on YouTube or even if you're working for a high-end production company, is lower thirds. I can't tell you how many lower thirds I've had to make from scratch, and I hate it. I'd go and find a reference picture on YouTube, and then I would have to figure out how to pull it into After Effects and create it and animate it. Shutterstock takes all the work out for you. All you got to do, type in, go to their video section, their stock footage section, type in lower thirds, and you've got easy, awesome, and oh, you actually can't see those, so maybe let's try this one over here. Animating lower thirds for you. It doesn't get any easier than Shutterstock, guys.
We're going to start a basketball show on Gamebreaker TV just because that lower third is so damn cool.
You've gotta go check this out. Shutterstock is an amazing service, and we're proud to have them as a sponsor. So what we're gonna do for you guys is you guys head on over and use the promo code Gamebreaker7. You're gonna get 30% off your next or your new account or your next order.
On new accounts. That is for new
30%
accounts.
off new
When you sign
accounts.
up on new accounts, you will get 30% off on your new account.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like we're giving you money away. That's kind of what we're doing.
But we're not. Shutterstock is, but we're not.
All right, let's open up the lines again and get back to the show. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your question.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Frank Ocean. It's Zista.
Hey.
Frank. I'm going to start
Hey.
calling him Frank the Office. Hey, Frank.
So, you guys touched on this very earlier in the show, but what's up with Cube World? They seem to pop out of nowhere. They're barely into alpha, and they're getting DOS.
I have no effing idea.
Besides the DDoS, like besides it being a fake conspiracy theory, how did this game just blow up out of nowhere?
I don't
what is
know.
the-
Like, so we don't know. We don't know. So what? This is a true story. Like, what were we doing? We were doing something. We went away for the weekend. We
We
both
were we did Tropia on like last Thursday or Friday. We went away for the weekend, and I saw a bunch of people on Twitter talking about it. I saw a
That's what I
bunch
mean.
of
Like,
videos
my Twitter
going
was
up.
just blowing up, and everyone was talking about it. And like, all through the weekend, like I was away with the family and like whatever. And I'm like looking at my Twitter, I'm like, what is everybody talking about? Like, what is this game? Literally, it was just this weekend. I know
We're a
hipsters in
little
chat
bit
room are like, "Where you
behind."
been? We've been playing it for a month. I'm sure. I'm an old man. Whatever. I'm not a hipster. I really don't give a shit. Oh, move on. But yeah, like over the weekend, it seemed like everybody on the internet was playing Cube World or talking about Cube World. And Sunday night we were just Mike's like, we have to do Smash, and I think we should do Cube World. And I'm like, that's exactly what I was thinking. So to answer your question, I have no idea. I don't know where they came from. I don't know anything about them.
We can't even
All I
get
know
in
is-
to like tell you about the game because we can't get in.
When did you hear about them?
I actually saw Mike B's Indie for breakfast. That's how I first heard about it.
Well, he's a hipster. He's on top of everything. So he obviously found out about them, and they paid him probably like $2 million to play the game, and that's why you can't get it. That's probably what it is.
I
No,
feel like
I actually
could
saw
just
his
get a
tweet
whole
as
group of
well.
people over. If I invite like maybe 4 or 5 of my friends over and get a bunch of Legos, and kicking them around the house, that I might have more fun. That's just my personal
That's-
opinion.
that's
I was never into the block games, so I don't really know.
So that's the thing. I was never a huge Minecraft fan. I just didn't love it. There's something about this game that I'm actually really intrigued by. The procedurally generated worlds and the fact that like
No
there
level
is-
cap.
there's game elements to it as well. Like there's actually game elements that it's not building stuff necessarily, but it's like you can go out and adventure and explore and find stuff and kill things and to kind of do stuff. I don't know. I'm actually really. Excuse me.
I'm really excited. Gary's just done. That was the end of his thought. I'm right there with Gary. I think what's really exciting about this is obviously the game elements is what definitely sets us apart from the people who got around the cube generated Minecraft phenomenon. Here there's actually a point. There's a game to be played. And I think what's really exciting is I think for sure we're definitely seeing a resurgence of like community games. Like I don't think LAN's gonna come back by any means, but I think we're really starting to see those games that like provide a channel like SMAT with great content where like you're sitting down with 4 or 5 different people, you log in, you just kind of, excuse my French, but you just bullshit around and do nothing. Like, but you're just running around and having fun, and that's what Minecraft was. But the fact that there is a game, there is an idea of a goal that you can go in and work towards, is what is making this so exciting. And the fact that, as we talked about earlier, the fact that it's so exclusive is making people go crazy about it.
Do you buy the whole DDoSing thing and the whole thing that it's all real, or do you think that it could possibly be, is our crazy conspiracy theory of it being somewhat of a marketing scheme and contrived, possibly a reality? What do you
It's
think?
something I hadn't
crazy?
even crossed my mind until you guys mentioned it in the pre-show.
now?
But
You mean until I mentioned it at the
definitely a
beginning of the
possibility. It'd be
show?
Very smart.
Nothing.
He's trying to steal my conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Now, I don't know.
No,
Maybe
but
it's not
definitely
true.
a
I mean, is it?
possibility.
I mean, think about if you go to the site and it talks. Doesn't it talk about even like being like one guy making it?
One guy and
I
his
think-
wife, I
No.
It's like it reeks of Notch.
Get
It's
outta
like
here.
like everything about it reeks of like Minecraft and like that story of like that guy. And we are in that era of people loving that one guy, right?
Here's the other thing.
Even to some
Here's the
extent,
other thing
it's
why
like,
I think
it's
this
like
is
Rocket, right? Rocket with DayZ. It's like he's that guy. Like he made DayZ and Notch. It's like
I get that there's high demand around this, and
I don't think there's anything wrong with hyping this thing and using it as a marketing. I honestly, if it's marketing, I think it's brilliant, and I would.
This is starting to unravel because think about it. Why are there sites like this up already? Like just around the idea of like, is registration up? No.
Yeah.
I gotta sit here on this site going nowhere every 30 seconds because what happens if it goes up and I'm not at the computer?
Right, but if I was doing like if this was my company, this is my marketing like ploy, I would make this website and put this up, and then like make like it's by a fan. Now the brain is unraveling. You're all hearing how I think, but it's brilliant marketing. I mean, I think it would be great, and I don't think it takes anything away from the game. I'm probably crazy. It's probably just one guy and his wife sitting in their basement.
you sound like an
they
asshole
really made
right
this
now.
awesome game, and he's like watching this, be like, no, really, just our servers are blowing the f up. And
I
wish
run
you
these
could play.
servers out of a computer in my basement. Thank you for being such a dick.
Well, if somebody could get this to them, like I said, I'll throw out another. But we want to make content for your game, so could you please get in contact with us, Garrigan at Garrigan. Tweet us.
There, right there.
I don't know where this game came from. I do not know. Mike B started talking about it, and that's it. You know, he's the man. So just he talks about shit, and people
And it
listen.
becomes popular.
Everybody's playing. But it was a course of like 72 hours when I was like, "What is this game?" And everyone's talking about it. So I don't think it's going to stop. And the fact that you can't get in is only helping that.
I agree. That all you got for us, Zista?
Oh wait,
Yep.
Gamebreaker.tv is getting DDoSed. Wait, we may be going down. What if we went down?
They're attacking us.
Yep.
They're retaliating.
Maybe I should start that ploy.
This is it. We're DDoSed. All right. Anyway,
Zista, thanks for being a fan, man. You're around all the effing time.
Every episode.
You are awesome.
Well, I'm
You're a
here
super
every
fan.
episode. I don't call in every episode.
But you're always
Not
around. I always see you. So
I'm not
you are
Eduardo.
a super
I can't call
fan.
in
No, but
every
you're a super
episode.
fan. Thank you for being around.
Yes, we really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much, man.
Yep, no problem.
Talk to you next time. All right, so
In
real quick while
before
we get another caller.
Gamebreaker knockoff.
What?
Yes. No, I'm reading chat room. They're talking about Gamebreaker getting DDoSed and us totally faking it. I can't do the notch thing though. I can't it actually. Well, see, Gamebreaker. Well, no, it's not really one person. We're a lot of people now. Like I guess everybody kind of looks at me of like, oh, Gary's
It's Gary.
the guy who did
Gary
it.
does everything. Thanks, guys.
started
Do you
at
know
my
how much
house,
I
but
work? Do you know how much Q works? Do you know how much Mike Byrne, Missy, who's all the we have so many people that create this site. It is not just Gary Gannon. Give everybody
angry.
some love and credit. I don't even have their Twitters to put up, but this is not run by one person.
Here's Mike, just painting away.
Just painting walls.
Painting away.
That's what Gary has me do in the back room during the day. It's ridiculous.
All right. I do have to fix everything, though, don't I? I'm probably going to have to fix the entire studio tomorrow now that Schaffnit's touched it.
You don't want to come back. Don't leave me unattended here alone.
Some sort of static energy must just flow through your body, and it's like you just touch a fader on the...
Done. Everything.
5 minutes before the show, I had just set everything up in this studio. I had tested all the mics. While he was painting, I was in here getting everything set up because we replaced the hard drive, got new software installed. Everything was working perfectly. He literally sits down at the desk.
And do anything.
Like,
I did not touch anything.
He sits down. He says, "Okay, let's go." And I don't have any signal. I have no signal. There's no levels. There's no levels. I'm like, I just checked it like 3 minutes ago. Nothing.
There's no levels. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't do it.
And then what did I do? I walked over and I like touched it. I like pulled something and I like touched something, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's levels.
I'm an enigma, I guess.
Maybe the curse from that I used to have in the basement of everything blowing up back in it has moved over to you.
That's where it's got to be. It's where it's got to be. All right, I think we got another caller on. Let's get this show open. These lines open. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your question.
Hello, my name is Lucas and I'm from Portugal.
Hello.
Hello, so my question is about Dota 2. As some of you might know, it was officially released yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or today, well, not sure. And I was wondering why they haven't implemented like a surrender or a concede button yet on them. Since like WoW has it, HON has it, I think Smite has it, not sure, but Why haven't they implemented it yet?
Gosh, it's tough for me to say because I haven't. I've played probably a total of 10 matches of Dota, but I can tell you as a MOBA fan, I could not imagine not having the surrender button because they're not even like being a troll. There are just some matches you don't want to play. The enemy team gets so far snowballed and out of control that there's no reason to try and fight uphill. Like, I get it, have a really good attitude, try and learn from it, but when you're playing against someone who can one-shot you, there's not really much you can do in the way of like fighting through it and trying to learn how to play better. There's nothing you can do. I don't know that. Gary, do you know why? Like, what would be a good...
I'm actually trying to look it up because people in the chat room are telling me that I don't know the reason, but apparently Valve or Dota 2 has actually talked about this on their blog. So I'm trying to pull this up. I don't know if this is the Valve blog or the Dota 2 blog. I'm searching. I don't know. I don't see anything here that's about Dota. I'd like to know this answer. The beta is over. Let's see.
I mean, I think while you look, I'll just kind of chat and give my thoughts about it. It's tough. So I'm sorry. Actually, I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
Diogo.
I still couldn't understand that. I apologize.
It's Diogo. McCann, call me McCann. It's from the nickname from the chat.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think this is? What do you think this is an answer or reason for? Do you have any thoughts on this? Obviously, you played enough of Dota to take notice of it. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, to be honest, I really don't know. Well, there are some games, like you said, that it's lost when all the people from the team wants to come or surrender or give up the game because it's completely lost. Why can't we just finish the game? Sometimes the enemy team is just trying to troll us and kill us at the pool and not finishing the game on purpose. They're having fun. We're just being killed. And I have no idea why they do that. I don't know,
but apparently, I don't know either. I would say I still have not been able to find it. I'm trying to search right now, but I would say go over to either the blog.dota2.com. It might be in here. It might be somewhere mixed in with another larger blog post that I can't find by looking at the titles here. Or look at the Valve blog, but the chat room seems pretty convinced that they've talked about exactly why they have not done this. So there must be a reason. I would go check it out. I wish I had read this before, but I do not know. So
stuff to say. And Yoke, do you have any? Like you were kind of talking a little bit about it. Did you have any final thoughts on the matter?
No, not really. I just wish they had a concede button. Today I played a game of 15 minutes that was lost in 20 minutes surrender. And we won the game in like 15 minutes that was lost in... Well,
I mean,
we won
here's
the
the
game
thing.
in 15 minutes.
Like, with World of Warcraft, I was always of the notion, arena matches, battlegrounds, I would even try and find other people in World of Warcraft that could slaughter me. Because it makes you a better player. You start to learn how they're using their abilities, how to counter what. I think, there is something to be said for sticking through a difficult match and trying to learn how to play. Just last weekend, I was playing with a lot of people in Gamebreaker chat, League of Legends, and it was clearly lost. I think the kill count was 25 to 50 or something. Like, it was awful. But we were at least fighting back with all inhibitors down, just holding on, and we had no chance of really winning, but we actually almost did. And I think
what's really funny is that what you're saying right now, this story is pretty much what I'm finding. I haven't found the official statement yet, but I found a thread where people are talking about they're trying to get votes to actually add this in, and then people are coming back saying, well, they already said it won't be an option because basically it fosters a defeatist attitude.
Yeah.
It kind of puts that in your mind just to play, and there's somebody saying that's why they don't want it. They say comebacks are sometimes possible, and there's quite a few late game heroes that have the possibility to turn things around that wouldn't even have a chance because people would just throw in the towel. So exactly your stories, I think, about the type of having those games. I've actually been in those games as well as in League of Legends. The same thing. I have been playing. We have been like 30 something, almost 40 minutes close to it in a game, thinking we are just toasted, and somebody comes up with some strategy, tells everybody to push, something happens, and all of a sudden the tides have turned, and I've just dropped down and be like, holy how did we just win that? And sometimes I think it just takes somebody on the team to really understand that, and I didn't understand that. Like, I don't know the game well enough to know that at that point we were supposed to be doing something. So maybe, and that seems to be the reason. is that they don't want to foster the defeatist attitude. They kind of want you to always kind of play to the end.
And I think that
and
that's
maybe
even
not,
even kind of counteracting what I was just saying. I think that does hold true because, like I said, we were fighting a losing game. It was hard. We stayed to the end just because we were playing and we were having fun and we didn't care. But like when that happened, we had all inhibitors down. We were just sitting there holding the entire like nexus. So they were on our nexus. We were just, trying to hold them and we were trying to stop them from pushing in. And there was one moment where they pushed in and we all came through and came together and ended up taking down and we aced their team when we were up against like the ropes and like we didn't push forward. Like we had so much to go through that we couldn't push to the other side of the match and win. But it was such a great feeling of like, holy crap, we just did this. Like we could come back. We could do this. We really could win. It was, and it felt good. And I don't, for a lot of people, and me included, because I do surrender sometimes.
A lot of people would have surrendered that match.
You don't ever get to feel that because you don't.
A lot of people would have surrendered that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically why I don't know. Maybe some of their metrics show that a lot of people, more people would surrender and they actually have a fighting chance even a lot longer than they think that they actually do. Maybe the perception of a lot of gamers is actually incorrect.
It's tough to say.
It's tough to say.
Because I hear what you're saying and I agree with you, but at the same time, I agree with
Don't
their
call
stance.
it a comeback. I've been here for years.
All right, let's open on the lines and take another caller. Caller in the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us her name. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your question.
Yo, dudes, it's Rick.
Yo.
And I'm calling to ask you guys for some relationship advice.
Ooh, date night with Mike and Gary. Wait, not date night.
Don't ask
date line.
Schaffnit. He was in love with a Final Fantasy VII character.
Listen, you don't know anything about Tifa Lockhart and my childhood crush on that woman. All right, she is a very attractive lady that I will never meet. Anyway, relationship advice. Go date Tifa Lockhart. Next caller. All right, what do you got?
Well, this is obviously going to be after I finish playing Cube World because that game is just such fun, you guys. You have no idea. Oh.
I'm going to cut you off right now. Every caller that calls in and pretends like that or is playing Cube World, it's not fair. It's not fair.
I stop playing. I'm playing it right now while talking to you guys. It's so much fun. Oh, God.
Whatever.
Your girlfriend should break up with you.
Oh, that's
There's
the
your
problem.
advice.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I was able to
Maybe-
skip Cube
maybe
World.
if you weren't playing Cube World, you'd find one.
bro. Keep playing Cube World. I hear the chicks are just all up in that game. Just they come right out of your DVD drive, your USB port, and just flow right out of that thing.
Stop being mean to the caller.
Hey, he's being mean to me. Just rubbing it in that I can't play effing Cube World, and I'm very angry about it.
What's up, Rick?
I just want to know, how can you trick someone into being your girlfriend? You tricked Ashley. And I don't know how Gary got his girlfriend. I want to know how you guys tricked them into liking you. I just need some good advice. Come on, hit me.
A rag and ether.
Chloroform. That's a good one. Yeah. Trick them into liking you. Let me tell you this. You're talking to the wrong
I can tell you
person
one
here.
thing, possibly. Don't play Cube World. That might trick them. They'd be like, "Are you a nerd? Are you play video games?" Nope. Never play a video game.
What's a video game? I like sports.
I play basketball and football, and I don't know. I race motorcycles on the weekend and a skydive. So nope, don't know what that is. That's how you trick them. Make stuff up.
I wish I had a
Hollywood
better answer
director.
for this. I'm so ill-equipped to answer this question because
Just get a business card that says you're a Hollywood director.
that's a really good one, right there. Especially
If
if
you
you're
lived
in
here,
LA
you could-
and you walk around
If
with a
you live
Hollywood
here, you
director
could
business
actually
card.
do that because that's what everybody does here. Like you could literally do that if you lived here.
You got to have a good car though, because if you're like Hollywood director and then you go back to like a
Hey, you just rent one for the night.
2003 Saturn Ion, they're gonna laugh at you.
I think Schaffnit's got a story.
That all you got for us, Rick?
Be yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, down to Home Depot, pick up some rags, thanks to you guys, and I'm gonna go get me a girlfriend.
Let me clarify real quick. Let me clarify so this doesn't go down a really bad road. I'm definitely the advocate of being yourself. Like, don't pretend to be anyone you're not. Be upfront with, and I know you're not necessarily asking serious advice, but for anyone out there who's like legitimately like, oh, okay, this would be great. Just be yourself. Be comfortable with yourself. I know so many people say it and so many people feel it's not the right answer, but it truly is. As soon as you're comfortable with yourself and can appreciate and know. Quick story. My parents, when I was like 9 years old, just starting to like girls. That just locked. I think I might be locked out of everything that's going on over there, Gary.
Nice.
My parents told me I could not have a girlfriend until I knew who I was. Legit, at 9 years old.
Be like, I'm Mike Schaffnit. I live at 32.
How do you answer that? How do you answer that without like? And I do appreciate that.
Penis and it's feeling really weird, and I have to do something with this, and I have really weird feelings right now. And
for anyone
I'm spending
out there,
much time in the shower. I think I need to find a girlfriend. Find yourself. All right. I'll go back in the bathroom and look for myself.
For anyone out there being serious, I'll just say it again. Be yourself. Don't try to be anyone you're not. Because if you be someone you're not, and then you do find someone, chances are that's not even a person you want to be with because you're not being yourself. Sadly, I can't see if we have another caller at the moment. So for the moment, I'm going to throw over to a Twitter question.
And I'll get up and go fix that.
Matthew
he broke it. He touched it.
Matthew Witten asks, what do you guys think this could be? Possibly PlayStation 4 release date soon? That's attached to this picture. When worlds collide. Ooh, here's my thought. This is the next Power Man 5000 album song.
How do you even know Power Man 5000?
Because
are they from isn't that like 92? Weren't you like what? 9, spending a lot of time in the shower?
This is what it's like when worlds collide. Are you ready to go? No? Okay, well, all right. I tried. I don't know. Here, Gary, what do you think about this? Because you were looking at the computer.
What? I was fixing the computer. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What? Okay, so this is something that PlayStation tweeted. It's just a picture, nothing else. It says,
I did see this. I did see this. I don't know. I didn't put much thought into this. Yeah, this teaser image. I did see this. I have no idea. An eclipse. Some sort of eclipse when worlds collide. I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough to say.
I don't know. That's a terrible answer for a show.
I guess I didn't think about the fact that I truly don't even know. But I guess what he was implying in the Twitter question, do you think that it could be related to the PlayStation 4 release date? I don't know if that picture really implies anything about a release date. When worlds collide.
Don't
know.
I don't know. No, not seeing release date. Maybe another title? Yeah, they would have released that.
It kind of looks like the Destiny logo. Maybe that's what it has to. I don't know.
Can we move on?
We'll move on.
I don't have to say I don't know again.
All right, cool. Caller, you're live with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. And I hope you know where you are.
Hello, guys. This is Eduardo from Mexico.
Oh.
I'm in my room.
Eduardo, you know you're in the corner right now with us, right? You know you're in trouble, right?
You're in trouble with Gary, not me.
I made a little mistake.
Yeah, you made a little mistake there, huh? You're getting yelled at by Missy.
Oh, what happened?
Angry
Oh, that's right.
No,
you are in the
I
trouble. You
still
are in
need to
trouble,
go
sir.
to that. I mean,
I'm
I got
joking.
yelled at in written form, but I think it's not over yet.
No, so we're doing. Let's talk about it for a second because I think a lot of people start wondering about. So we're doing this thing. I keep talking about it. I hyping it up like I always do about Gamebreaker Nation, which is something that we are launching here at Gamebreaker, which is a cross gaming guild for all of you guys to join and be a part of, so we can keep the community together of gamers playing MMOs. And I've been talking about it for a while, and we've been recruiting a bunch of officers and event coordinators and all kinds of people in the background to run this stuff. So running World of Warcraft guilds and Smite guilds and League of Legends, all the games, right? And so we had to delay it a little bit. I'll tell you why in a second. Basically, the reason is because if you guys know, if you got to freetoplay.tv, we've changed the entire website design. And we like it so much that we've decided to switch Gamebreaker.tv over to that same design. So we had on the current design, on the current website, we had all the stuff set up for Gamebreaker Nation. We had all the, because there's all kinds of things with a shopping cart and all kinds of moving parts in the background that had to work, and things with advertising and the banner ads going away for you guys and things like that. So we had it all working on the site. It was all ready to go. And then we liked this new layout, and I was like, I want to change Gamebreaker to this new layout. And we thought it was crazy to launch Gamebreaker Nation with the current site and then we're gonna be like basically scrapping that code in like a couple weeks. So we put Gamebreaker Nation on hold so we can build it all out on the right platform and get it up and loaded. Anyway, Missy goes away for that's why it's delayed, and it's not going away, but that's the reason why it's been delayed. Missy goes away for 12 days, and Eduardo over here decides to go make a Gamebreaker Nation guild. What was it, Guild Wars 2? Did we lose Eduardo?
No, he's definitely still on.
No, I'm still
Oh.
here.
You just decided you were in Guild Wars 2 one day, and you're like, that Ganon character is just taking too goddamn long. I'm just going to make this guild
He
myself.
tuned out to you so long ago that we decided to throw to a Squarespace ad. So if you guys haven't heard about Squarespace, let me tell you, they're another awesome sponsor that's just as awesome as Shutterstock. Provide a completely different service. And if you guys are, again, got a YouTube page, got graphics, got anything that you're doing with media, need a website. Everybody needs a website. Get with the times. You know how you get with the times? By heading over to squarespace.com. It's really, really simple to start a website. All you got to do is select a template. You'll start your free trial. And on top of that, they're going to give you a free domain. So it's real simple. You head on to Squarespace. This is just one step in. You just kind of scroll down here and you find what fits your fancy. Maybe you're a photographer. Maybe you want to show off your photos. So you want this Wexley template. Boom. Click here. Guess what? Boom. There you go. Now, granted, this isn't the actual website, but if it was, we could jump in and start customizing all of these pictures just by simple drags and no programming. That's the best part. There's no programming, no massive amount of programming that it's built so that everyday consumers have the ability to create high-polished professional websites, and that's so necessary. You can start blogs.
Guild
websites. It's
YouTube people posting your YouTube stuff, your personal blog.
You don't want to and here's the other thing.
Eduardo's Baby in the Corner blog.
You don't want to just post your stuff on YouTube. What happens when YouTube goes away? Then where do you post your videos? If you had a website, you could post them to your website. So maybe go get a website. Go check it out, squarespace.com. And if you guys head on over now and use the offer code Gamebreaker7.
What was that code, Mike Schaffnit? I can't see it.
Offer code Gamebreaker7.
There it is, Gamebreaker, and the number 7, 10% off your brand new account. Go do it today.
All right, Eduardo. Sorry about that. I know you got bored, so I thought we'd liven it up.
Like kind of con artist. Could you please explain that I didn't do this out of the blue? I did it because I'm an officer, and Missy said before he left, well, I'm relying on you guys. And I decided to take the initiative, but you were
trying. No. You were trying to do the right thing, and you definitely did. I'm just giving.
Gary's just busting your chops because he's mean and he beats people and makes them paint green screen and build PvP pipe hurdles, and then tells them that they suck and he doesn't want to use them, and then wastes an hour of your time.
Just don't create a Guild Wars 2. Gamebreaker Nation. Guild, we're fine. I'm giving you crap, Eduardo. It's all good.
It's all good, man.
Okay, well, with that aside, I have a question this week. So, do you guys have a game journalist that you admire or that inspired you to do this thing that you do?
So my answer is...
Game journalist? No, I don't.
My answer is pretty...
Game journalists are all hacks.
My answer is pretty standard. I think growing up, obviously, I think a lot of people look to... Tech TV was before my time, don't judge me. But I was obviously acquainted with Kevin Pereira and Adam Sessler. I think those two are two really good journalists that bring a great personality to their brands, and I respect their opinions a lot. Evolving into new media, specifically game journalists, I don't know if I have one right now that I'm looking towards consistently, but this is gonna sound really dumb for a moment, but honestly, like I looked to this site. This site I admired a lot before I moved out to Los Angeles. Followed Josh and Gary and Mike B.
He was a fanboy.
I was a fanboy. I was one of you guys.
I gotta agree with somebody in the chat room though, because Saren's saying like, can Kevin Pereira really be a game journalist? And I have to agree. I don't think he is at all. He's a host. See, that's why I was gonna say, like, do you look at when you asked me if I look at game journalists? I'm like, No, like I don't know, because I kind of like hosting things, but I don't really consider anything I do journalism. Like I'm a host.
Yeah.
Is Kevin Pereira a journalist? No. He honks horns like a fucking clown, man. It's like me.
But
We just do stupid shit. We burp in the mic. We yell. We
He does
do.
it so good though.
Yeah, no, he's really good. He's a real, but he's a
Good.
really, he's a kick-ass host, man. He can host the shit
I mean,
out of the show.
Eduardo, are you counting journalist as like the person who sits and writes, or are you counting journalist like? Real quick question: would you consider us game journalists, Gary and I?
Well, you're more like entertainers and critics. I
Dance,
think.
Gary,
Hey,
dance.
let me get my puppets. I got puppets. I can do ventriloquism act.
It's true.
No,
that's
I mean,
that's
not-
really all
not-
we are.
not
We are just
comedy.
puppets for your
I mean-
entertainment.
I mean, you channel the information, but you don't write the foul information about the products or.
Yeah, no, and
Or
that's how
review.
I always looked at everything. Like I like hosting shit, and to me, all the people I try and bring in for the shows when I'm hosting stuff are the experts. Like to me, you know, whoops, dropping my beer. That's more important to me. Like I don't want to drop my beer. But yeah, like I try and bring the people who know games inside and out, like from start to finish, one game, right? And then they get hired by Blizzard, like Josh Allen, right? So it's like, I don't know. So back to your question, do I have somebody that inspired? So I don't know who inspired me to really start this. I guess you could definitely say to start Gamebreaker was like Leo Laporte was probably a big one. I was working in television for a long time in like traditional television. I was at Fox News and then I went to MSNBC. So I was already like doing television. And then I kind of started watching the emerging stuff online and I was like, that's cooler.
So it wasn't any specific journalist. It was more what you were seeing.
It was more
in the
to me. It's
field.
more of the whole movement. Like I'm more inspired by like I got inspired by the fact that like I was like I understand how all the real TV stuff works. I could kind of take control of this and maybe not have like 1,000 people working at this company, but we could kind of just like create this news ourselves. And this, especially with gaming, I've been a gamer like my entire life. I was like, besides G4, I was like, there's nobody doing this. Like, nobody's talking about games. There was already gadget stuff. And you had Leo doing that. You had Rev3 doing some game stuff, but not so much. So to me, I was more inspired by the entire movement of taking and having the control and the ability to actually have a channel. Because a cable channel, before this, like a cable channel was completely out of control, right? It's like you couldn't get a cable channel, but now the internet is a Twitch. You have a channel. So I was inspired by that more than any like particular journalist.
I think, and I think to kind of compound on that, because mine isn't any specific person, mine's more of a story as well. Around the time that I was heading off to college, I originally found the college that I went to for game design. And then halfway through my senior year, I found out that they also had a film program and decided to go for film instead. And that's I think what inspired me to get here is I've always been super passionate about video games, but I never look outside of creating the video games, which I know I don't have the technical capabilities to do. I didn't necessarily know that this was an opportunity that I could try and follow. So I pursued film, and film was able to expose me to the proper, media equipment that has kind of inspired me into this direction, where I can not only pursue the passion and the technical ability that I can achieve in film, but also relate it to something that I'm very passionate about, which is video games. And I think that's what's got me more here, is just my passions and my love than any one specific person.
And all game journalists are hacked.
So that's it. That's Gary and I's story, I guess, for you, Eduardo. You got anything else?
Oh, well, I have a quick question for you, Schaffnit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is more like a request from someone who couldn't call in tonight, but
No.
and Gary Gannon might
I smell a
be,
troll coming on.
yes, and Lore, who would you kiss, marry, or avoid?
Oh, so
Wait,
it's not
out of who?
it's not
Kiss, marry, or what?
it's
Avoid?
not, well, isn't it kill,
Avoid.
marry? It's supposed to be kill, marry, F.
I know,
Yeah,
no,
that's what-
this person specifically said kiss, marry, or avoid. Gary
Kiss,
might be
marry.
Lore.
Avoid.
Gary might be lower.
Well, Gary and I pretty much have a marriage at this point with the amount of time that we spend together. So I guess I'm already married to Gary Gannon. Kiss. Well, I don't want to, like... I like Mike and Josh.
You have a... Oh, really? Yeah.
Like, I like them both. I can't say that I would want to avoid either one
I'd
of
make
them.
out with B. Yeah, I'd make out with B.
See, I was thinking, when I was thinking about make out, the first person that, I'm sorry, Josh, but like the first person that popped in my head was make out with Mike B. But I don't want to avoid Josh Allen. So
yeah, avoid's a weird one. I never heard it done with avoid.
It makes it so much harder when you
It
like
does,
all
'cause
three
I wouldn't
people.
avoid any of them. But
all right, well, now I've just been embarrassed publicly on internet television. Eduardo, thank you so much for calling in. We got to get the show moving because we are running out of time, but thank you so much.
hey, Eduardo, make sure you go make some more guilds. You got a week.
Call him Gamebreaker Nation.
Oh, okay. Well, see you guys.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, dude. Talk to you later. Who we got next on the line? Bring it on.
We got to
the
get someone on the line
line.
here. So real quick, maybe I can find an easy, quick Twitter question.
Oh,
that's not...
you know when the Twitter questions come up, that means we have no one on
Depth.
the line. That means the gremlins behind the scenes are all working.
Super
The wheels are turning.
Simple question for Gary. I have no idea what else to put on my huge bacon beef burger for dinner.
It's so easy. Bacon?
But he already put bacon on it.
That's okay. You put
Bacon
more
beef
bacon.
burger. So it's a bacon beef bacon burger, or is it a
Yes.
Here,
Okay.
Real question.
Wait, no.
Real question. Is it a bacon beef bacon burger, or is it a bacon beef burger?
It's a bacon beef burger.
But what if I put the bacon, then the burger, then the bacon? Is it a
I would
bacon burger
probably-
bacon?
I would probably put one other thing on there.
Try and say bacon burger bacon 10 times fast.
I would make it a BBB. Is it a BB?
That's
Is it a bacon beef burger?
Bacon beef bacon burger. So it's 4 B's.
So I would make it a BB and A.
BB and A?
Avocado. Because it
You
makes
would.
everything so much better.
All right, let's open up.
Bacon, beef, bacon, balls, and avocado.
All right, let's open up the lines and keep the show going before it gets really weird. Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, tell us your question.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Kevin, aka and Rogue in chat from Alabama. How you guys doing?
Good.
Hello, Kevin from Alabama. How are you, sir?
I am well. This isn't exactly my official question, but I did have to ask Mike something. He said that his parents said that he
if it's
couldn't-
kiss, marry, or avoid, I'm not answering it again.
It's not.
Okay.
You said your parents wouldn't let you have a girlfriend until you knew who you were.
Yes, dead
It's the
serious.
same time that you started having a fantasy thing about yellow dresses.
They didn't tell me to avoid that one, and I was trying to figure out who I was, and I stumbled into my sister's room, and that's where it all started.
And Mike still doesn't have a girlfriend.
So there is a link.
Too. Now you're gonna get me in trouble. All right.
The back end
sorry.
of that was you're still trying to figure out who you are. That was the joke.
All right. What do you got?
He has a very lovely girlfriend.
I was going to ask, with indie games having an even bigger footprint and continuing to grow, especially with the new consoles saying that they're going to supposedly be even more friendly, do you think that it's possible that some of these indie developers that are becoming more and more popular may end up in the future being the next AAA developers, or will they just get swept up by the big daddies that are already on the block?
I think they will. I think some of them will definitely, absolutely, 100% be the next big AAA developers. I mean, what do you have? CD Projekt Red? They're going to kill it. CD Projekt Red is going to kill it. Companies like that. I even think the Metro guys, right? The Metro 2033 guys. I think those guys are going to kill it. I think they're going to see like there's indie games like those. Those are definitely indie titles to some extent. You know, they're just getting bigger and bigger.
At what point do you think indie games are going to push too far and no longer be considered indie games? Because the indie game people, I think,
because I already know that people are going to say The Witcher's not an indie game; it's a AAA game. And to some extent, you're right, but there's still a pretty small company out there that, like, you know, kind of they're on their, you know, going on their third title. And same thing with the Metro guys, right? It's like, I don't know, it's just one of those terms. I mean, again, I'll go back to music. Indie has become the new, like, almost arena rock to some extent, right? Like, we don't have like big, huge rock bands like we used to, like back in the day. Now you've got tons of indie bands, but they're huge rock bands, you know? They just sounds a little bit different. So I don't know. I guess some of them will get swallowed up. Some of them will look for the bigger thing, but
And this, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not implying anything about age, but this is a cycle thing, and you have more experience with this, just because things come around in a circle, and eventually.
I know back in 1923 when
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, like it's not like we haven't seen this kind of trend happen before. We see it with fads. We see it with industry. We see it with everything. Everything kind of just comes into this full circle kind of scenario. And
I don't ever remember like an indie game time before this though. Like I don't remember.
But would you consider that early games to be indie games because they were not a lot of developers? They were.
It was
indie
different
in general.
then because the only games you saw, like the only games that I had growing up as a kid, came on a cartridge. Like like there wasn't an internet to download games from developers. Like they didn't have a distribution platform, so it just didn't exist. Like there was no way for Jack Bones to be making Cube World with his wife and lying about
and
it,
not letting us in.
Right, but there was no way that didn't exist back then because were there small groups of developers probably making like I don't know. I'm making this up, but I don't know how many people probably created Missile Command. There's probably like some small group of guys like in their garage making that game.
But Blizzard,
then it got picked up by a bigger company like Atari or something because there was so much more infrastructure you had to manufacture like the cartridges and put them on shelves and all that stuff. So indie developers couldn't exist like they can right now. Like now with digital bits, it's like
to a certain
uploaded.
extent, I would even consider the original Blizzard an indie developer at one point. Like they were an indie developer in their early years.
Yeah,
every
lot
big
of
company was.
Well, I guess. I think some. I mean, to some extent, I guess everybody's indie at some point in their career, right? Like, who's not? I mean, unless you get a huge, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a lot of developers probably with not huge injections of endless cash or a subsidiary of like a larger entity like EA. Yeah, I guess you could consider them an indie. So I don't know. It's really interesting, like how it's pretty amazing that people have the outlets that they have now to do things like this. It's pretty awesome. Going back to the Gamebreaker store for media and like same thing with game design. It's like if I was a game developer, like it blows my mind that you could like literally sit home, like make something in Xcode and some like other piece of software and upload your game to the App Store and have people play your game. It's kind of incredible. Like I know, but we take it for granted. I sound like really old right now. But really, when you think about it, it really is. Because not that long ago, none of this shit existed.
Not that long ago. Before my time, because I'm only 12 years old. Gary Gannon, you can follow him right down there at Gary Gannon. Catch him all over Gamebreaker on a weekly basis. Daily basis, practically. Check him out on Smat, our awesome new gameplay channel. If you guys are on the YouTube, if you guys have your favorite channels, your favorite videos, Smat Super Mega Awesome Time is definitely going to be one of those. I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys like the gameplay series from like a year ago, basically what this is.
I have one more plug.
One more plug.
For the live chat, at least, maybe if you're watching this, you're probably not going to watch this. No, I probably shouldn't even plug it. Live chat. Make sure to watch Firefall Fest tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific on Twitch because I'm going to be on with Man vs. Game, and we're going to be playing some Firefall live at the Red 5 Studios. I got to get up super early, so I got to get the F out of here.
You and me both. You can follow me right down here at Mike Schaffnit. We do the show live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. PDT. Again, callers, everyone who called in, thank you guys so much. This show could not be possible without you guys, so we appreciate every single one of you guys calling. If you haven't considered calling or watching live, well, you can't be part of the conversation if you don't do so, so check us out live. Or if you haven't called and haven't even considered it, maybe you got an awesome question that you want to throw our way. We appreciate the conversation. So bring that on to next show next week. Thank you guys so much. Follow at Gamebreaker TV for all your video game related news, and we'll see you next week.